Welcome everyone to the BMW M240i, perhaps my absolute favorite car in the BMW range. The M240i is of course part of the 2 Series family, the entry-level BMW. In the most standard configuration, you can get a 2-litre 4-cylinder engine, but here we have a 3-litre straight 6 with a single twin-scroll turbocharger. The 2 Series can come in quite a few configurations. You have those 2 engines, you have rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive, you can have a manual or an automatic, or you could have the car with a hard top or a soft top. But what you're looking at really is the enthusiast special. Rear-wheel drive, manual, with the most powerful engine. Speaking of power, this car does replace the M240i. That car had 320 horsepower and 330 pound-feet of torque. This has 335 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque. When it comes to the driving dynamics of this BMW, pretty much all of it is perfect. There's a few problems I have here and there, but overall, this driving experience is fantastic. If you want to leave it at that, leave it at that. All you need to know about this BMW is that it is a brilliant car to drive. It is important to note though, with this car, we actually do have the $1,500 M Performance exhaust. Now that turns the car into a bit of an animal whenever you want to be one too. So this 6-speed manual we have here, things you need to know about the clutch, utterly faultless. It is what I would define as the optimal bite, the optimal travel in that pedal. It's brilliant. The shifter itself, I think the throws are perhaps a bit long, but the encouraging thing about it is that you will always know when you're in gear. You have that confirmation that you have put it into the right slot. And also another feature with this manual is what you can do on the downshift. Did you hear that there? That is the computer doing the downshift rev matching for me. If you're an avid manual enthusiast and you know how to downshift in every single car you get into instantly, then maybe you won't like it. But for the individuals that perhaps don't have that much experience with a manual, it's able to make day-to-day driving a lot smoother. If you do want to turn it off, the only way that I can figure it out is turning off traction control or going into Sport Plus mode. Also, another nice thing is that when you're in the Comfort or the Eco Pro mode, the car will engage its automatic stop-start system. But it does something quite clever. When you're coasting to a set of red lights, let's say, and you throw the car into neutral, once you come to a stop, the engine will turn off. But if you're rolling up to a stop sign, as I am right now, and I need to quickly pull away, I've got the car in first gear and the system won't engage. I think that's really clever. Talking about the steering for a minute, it is a variable rack, so from time to time it does feel a little inconsistent. It's to make maneuverability easier, make it a more livable thing, easier to park. If you go up into Sport mode and Sport Plus mode, the steering gets heavier, but not too much. I think if you want to find flaws in this system, you will. But I've never really thought that it is a significant issue. Another thing I'd like to talk about the clutch, which is a bit of a weird thing to talk about, is the placement of the dead pedal over here. I can happily rest my foot there and still have great motion to and from the clutch pedal. The ride never seems to be sharp. It's good isolation from wind and road noise as we join the highway here. And whenever I'm getting into this car for a cold start, I always leave the doors open just so I can hear that engine rev into life first thing in the morning. I think perhaps the biggest gripe with this car is the interior. It just doesn't seem particularly exciting. It's just kind of what we've come to expect from BMW. Everything laid out very simply for ultimate ergonomic efficiency. However, it does make it a tad bit dull to look at. There's not a lot of color going on. And even with the silver touches that we have here, I don't feel like it's enough to alleviate all the black plastics and black leather that we have around here. You can also go searching for some harder materials like down on the bottom of the door cards, but I like how we have this little pad right here so I can rest my knee up against the center tunnel. We have the iDrive system here, so we've got a touch screen directly in front of us. There is perhaps a little bit of a reach for me to get in my comfortable driving position, but of course you can resort to all the dials that are down here. The iDrive system actually has wireless Apple CarPlay, but you have to pay $750 for it. But not only that, if you want to get the Apple CarPlay, you have to get the $5,000-ish premium package. You can't get them separately. They have to come together. So that's why this car starts under $48,000, but the version you're looking at here is $61,000. Got 4 different driving modes: Eco Pro, Comfort, Sport, and Sport Plus. They were doing pretty much exactly what you would expect. In front of us, we have the configurable screen, so just by hitting here on the indicator stalk, we can have different information displayed for us. You can also configure this instrument cluster screen further if you go into the iDrive system, and you can change around a few things like the efficient dynamics bar on the bottom, the shift point indicator. I'm not really one to talk about this kind of feature because so many cars come with them, but a good sunroof. This car has it. It slides just like that. Nothing to really show off. But when I first got into this car, the sunroof was closed and it felt really claustrophobic in here for a tall guy like me. Throwing that back though, it opens up the space so much, it no longer feels like you're cramped inside of a relatively small car. Other small problems, the placement of this USB is just an accident waiting to happen. If you've got a coffee cup up here and it spills, it's going right into that plug and it's going to wreck it. For the life of me, I can't find a sync button to pair up the dual zone climate control. And it only took me until yesterday to find out that this car has a heated steering wheel with a hidden button right here on the side. Other features we have with the car: heated front seats, automatic lights, lane keep assist, and adaptive cruise control system. Well, the 2 Series is a 2+2, so conceivably you could put 2 people back there. There's no way I would be able to fit there comfortably, so I don't even feel like there's a point of putting it on the struggle test. But you know what? I'd like to see myself as an entertainer, so here you go. You can fold down those rear seats and make a little more space, so carrying longer items is somewhat achievable. For the exterior design, it looks good enough. I wouldn't go so far to say that it's beautiful or it's sexy, but it's certainly a good looking car. All the angles seem fine. Actually, for the M240i, all the wheels that you get are 18s. These ones in black, though, I think really complement the color. The color of this car is sunset orange, and when I first got it, it was very early in the day and still a bit dark out, so it looked red, and it was kind of a color I didn't really care for, but now spending time with it, I think it looks fantastic. Not as good as the 1M's Valencia orange, though. Living with this car is a joy. Driving this car on a fun little road in Sport Plus is a privilege. Another thing in sport mode, you're getting a lot more emphasis on the overrun, and it's this wonderful farty noise that you can hear reflecting off of cars when you're just wanting to be a bit of a yobbo going down Main Street. One of the most confounding things with the 2 Series is kind of what it competes against. If you want an entry-level premium car from the big 3 German manufacturers, you're looking at this, a Mercedes CLA, and an Audi A3. Although these cars might compete in price, they're not competing exactly in their missions. Both of those cars are 4 doors. This is strictly a 2-door. I think it's difficult to rank this car in my system, seeing as it's hard to place its direct competitors. But the M240i is just so good. It doesn't really matter what it competes against. If you buy one today, it is going to entertain you, it's going to comfort you, and it's going to make you feel like you have bought one of the best driver's cars currently on sale today.